Hey everyone, here's a great basic jazz brush pattern that was very popular in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. A lot of drummers played this. Gene Krupa played this all the time. Zutty Singleton played this a lot. Dave Tuff, Nick Fatool. It's kind of like a brush version of a press roll. I had done a video about press rolls and I mentioned one of the basic press rolls was quarter notes with one hand and a little buzz on 2 and 4 with the other. And I mentioned how some drummers would play the quarter notes with the right hand and the buzzes with the left hand, and some drummers would play it the other way around. So this is very similar to that. One hand playing quarter notes and the other hand playing a little sweep on 2 and 4. So that was obviously with the right hand playing the quarter notes. Different drummers played this different ways. Gene Krupa played it the other way around. He played it with the quarter notes in his left hand and the sweeps with his right hand. Even though, interestingly enough, he played press rolls the other way around, with his right hand playing the quarter notes and the left hand doing the buzzes. But it's actually interesting how many drummers back then, how common it was for a right-handed drummer to play the sweeps with their right hand on the brush and time with the left hand. Very opposite of what became the standard, but all the standard rules of these things then hadn't yet been worked out. So you'll hear a lot of drummers playing this the other way, but I mostly play it with my right hand playing the quarter notes. And it's just a great basic pattern. It works at any tempo. It can be nice at an up-tempo because it can be sort of a less cluttered kind of feeling than if you're trying to get all the skip beats in there. It's just a different kind of feel. That quarter note feel is just a different kind of thing. It works great for ballads. That quarter note feel in general, I think, really works well with ballads, and you'll hear even a lot of drummers who played more of the ride cymbal pattern with the brushes. On ballads, they would play quarter notes. It's just a nice feel. Sometimes with a ballad, you don't want it to get too swinging, if you know what I mean. And the quarter notes, you can have a nice, solid beat, but without it getting too swinging. And also, at a slow tempo, there's so many different ways that horn players can phrase that if you're not trying to force where you're putting the 8th note, if you're playing quarter notes, that will just go with anything. It's just a nice feel, and Gene Krupa would play this a lot if you hear him play ballads. And in fact, Gene Krupa, I think, is one of the great ballad drummers ever. He's so great on ballads. Maybe some people wouldn't expect that, but he's just so subtle and beautiful on ballads. I was listening to this recording he did in the 50s, great recording, Hey, Here's Gene Krupa, and he plays this brush beat on there, a couple of different tempos, but there are some great ballads on there, and he plays that quarter note feel, and then he also plays quarter notes on the ride cymbal on some of the ballads, but just quarter notes. And again, it's such a sparse, beautiful sound. Check Gene Krupa out on any ballad from any point in his career. It's fantastic. So this works really well on ballads, and then some variations that you can do on ballads, or not just on ballads, any tempo really, but one that you can do is, instead of playing just the quarter notes as taps, you can do a little sweep. I'll show these with the right hand playing the quarter notes, a little sweep on 2 and 4. So your right hand's going. That just kind of fattens it up a little bit. And then something that works really great for ballads, and Nick Fatool did this, if you make all the quarter notes with the right hand a little sweep. That's a really nice, fat sound for a ballad. And then With the other hand, the hand that's doing the sweeps, you can do, I mean, a variation you can do there is just turn that into a continuous sweep instead of the broken sweep on 2 and 4. So you could sweep it on every quarter note, like this for a ballad. Maury Feld played this, taps in the right hand and just a continuous sweep on every quarter note with the left hand. And you can do that at faster tempos. Sometimes someone like Gene Krupa, he might start out playing the broken sweep on 2 and 4, and then as things build up, go into the continuous sweep. So that's something you can do. And then of course you can combine all of those, like you can do the continuous sweep on every quarter note with the left hand, and sweeping each quarter note, a little broken sweep with the right hand. I use that one for ballads a lot. That's really nice. And even some of the players who I think kind of were very influential in moving away from playing the quarter note kind of feel all the time to more, what we maybe think of as a more contemporary brush beat with the ride cymbal pattern, were Chick Webb, Joe Jones, and Sid Catlett. But they all played this beat as well. And Joe Jones in particular, a thing that he kept from this beat that he would play a lot, even when he was playing, as he usually would, the ride rhythm with his right hand with the brushes and not quarter notes, he would still sometimes do the broken sweep on 2 and 4. So he would get... So that's a great thing that he kept through his whole career, and he would vary that. So again, just going from the broken sweep on 2 and 4 to the continuous sweep, even if you don't change anything else, that really has an effect on the music. A lot of times these changes don't have to be that big. A very small change can have a huge effect. So you'll hear Joe Jones go from one to the other. So those are some variations on this. Again, so many players use this. If you listen to Gene Krupa or Dave Tuff with Benny Goodman in the 30s, small groups, you'll hear this. Zutty Singleton, he plays brushes, you'll hear this all the time. Like I said, Nick Fatool, George Wettling, Harry Dial with Fats Waller, you'll hear this. Just a very common thing. Minor Hall with Don Ewell, you'll hear this a lot. You'll be able to find this. So check it out. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else you would like to see, and I'll be back soon. Thank you.